about a blast from the past? Are you already singing along yet? Well, it's your music, your memories, your life. Our next guests bringing a show to the Straz that allows you to experience the greatest music of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. We want to go ahead and welcome Peter Gaddy, producer, and also the man behind the keyboard to discuss his show, Decades Rewind, along with the performer, Ashley Renee. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for having us.
I'm hooked already. I mean, a 15-second clip right there, and I'm like, okay, where do we get tickets? Because this show is right up so many people's alleys.
Yeah, that's the idea of it. It's all about you and your life and your memories. 60s, 70s, 80s, as you said, all medleys. I pretty much tell people, I guarantee you'll know every song and every word to every song. American culture, we have videos playing all night long, things like Woodstock and Vietnam, everything that you remember from being back in those decades.
And I've never heard of anything like this, and you guys go all out. We're talking, how many costume changes?
We have over 100 costume changes, and you're right, there's nothing else like this out there. It's not really a Broadway show, it's not really a concert, it's not really a musical, it's just a combination of all of the above. We have 14 people involved, including 6 lead vocalists. Ashley is one of them. Then your typical band with horns, and there's nothing else like it. You're absolutely correct.
I'll say like a 15-piece band, right?
14, actually.
14. I was going to say, still, that is incredibly impressive for a 2-hour performance, and we do get to hear the vocals of Ashley.
Yes.
Okay, the roles that you get to play, what, Janis Joplin, Joan Jett,
Pat Benatar, Blondie, Cyndi Lauper, Patti LaBelle. I mean, the list goes on, and it's a blast.
Now, I pretend to be that person, like in the car, and I absolutely am terrible. So what's it like as a performer that has the talent to be able to step up into these iconic roles?
Well, I think something that's really important about our show is that we don't try to imitate them per se, these amazing, iconic figures, like you say, but we try to emulate them and stay true to the style. So it's amazing to be able to get into character and sort of change from one decade to the next or one medley to the next.
I was like, and take us back a little bit. How did this show come about? Where did this idea come? And now you are touring and very in demand.
Yes, it goes back about 2 years ago. My partner in crime, as we say, Mark Blinkhorn, and I were playing in a cover band together, and we were sitting there taking a break, and we both sort of said at the same time, something I'd like to do a band where we did medleys of decades, and then the other person said, yeah, and have some videos and some props, and then we brought it to a friend of ours named Al Owen, who is now our music director and also plays guitar, and it became our idea on steroids, and we just started picking songs. We went through thousands and thousands of songs to come up with about 60 songs. We play all medleys. Each medley will be either genre related like disco or era related like hippie, Vietnam era, and we just put it together. We were very fortunate to get an incredible group of talent. Our first shows were last year in November. We finished the year out, made some changes, hired a choreographer and some other people, came back out in May, and it's just been full steam ahead. As you said, we have, I think we have 70 shows booked through March of next year, all over the United States, starting in January, and it came from nothing to reality really, really quick. So
I'll say, how in the world did you pick the songs? That would, I think, be the most difficult thing.
It's the hardest thing to do, because I tell people all the time, if you and I sat here now for the next hour and had a cup of coffee, we can probably pick 60 more songs, probably just as good. So we looked at the talent we had, especially when we revamped in May, tried to play to their strengths. You know, we have the typical rocker female, rocker male. We have somebody that does Motown real well and disco real well, and we just play to their talents at this point. But you're right, it's very difficult, because these eras are the most prominent eras, in my opinion, of music and American culture, and it was so hard to narrow it down to only 60 songs.
Wow, I'm sure it is fabulous. And I was going to say, we definitely want to get out the details. It's actually going to start tomorrow, Friday, 7:30 at the Straz Center. Of course, for tickets, you can go to strazcenter.org. Okay, and real quick, Ashley, do you have a favorite era that you get to perform?
I love the hippie era. My Janis Joplin is probably one of my favorites, for sure.
There we go. I'm hooked. I'm hooked. Thank you so much for coming on and talking about this. Sounds like a lot of fun.